Most people use exercise to dump stress. I think that exercise is a great way to dump stress, but I think most people do it wrong. And I think I've done it wrong a lot. I look at the way that we talk about our stress in different layers, and I'd like to take you through those layers.
Okay, so the first layer is awareness. I think most people can tell you where they think their stress comes from and what they think makes their stress go away. But if that were a balanced situation, they wouldn't be stressed. They'd be balanced. And most people tell you they're stressed. And I tell myself I'm stressed. So the first thing I did is say, am I overstressed or under recovered? Because if I'm under recovered, if I'm not well hydrated, if I'm not sleeping right, if I'm not eating right, then there's no way I could handle stress because I'm not even giving myself a balanced recovery cycle. So I think the first thing to ask yourself is, do I really have more stress than I deserve? Or am I basically trying to hack my recovery and hack my stress and I'm all out of whack? Because you should feel balanced. Stress is good for you, but the equal amount of recovery is good too. You need to know more about both. Most of us have devices that tell us a lot about ourselves, but I don't think we think about this information. We're looking for perfection when really your next place for advancement is in a weakest link. I think after we're aware of both our stress and recovery and can probably look at both in a reasonable way, I think we all get to the point where we're probably carrying as much mental and social stress, but we're not really carrying a lot of physical stress unless you're working out wrong. The next thing I work with patients and athletes on is once they're aware of the problem, before I go into the FMS or Gray Cook solution or the magic bullet or the thing that they need, I'm like, can we all agree on the things that would easily make this situation worse? And so if you have low back pain, you already know what makes it worse. And if you feel fatigue all the time, you already know what would compound that worse. I think caffeine products in the middle of the day are probably not good if you're trying to sleep better. So don't drink caffeine afternoon. It's 12:11, but I'm going to pretend like I'm on California time. It's not messing my sleep up that bad, but if I had to make my sleep better, that's the first thing to go. So I think it's really good to work through all those things that you already know will make it worse and just agree to protect yourself from those things. Correctives don't work if you don't protect yourself. Okay, so you've got to stop doing the things, especially that make it worse. And if you know something will make it worse, don't do more, but you could also do less of that and probably get you better. So most people aren't willing to delete the worst habit, but they're very willing to adopt a convenient or small habit. The green tea will not put out the cigarette. Better just to quit doing the cigarettes. Extreme example, but that's my whole point. I have people abusing their recovery time and asking me about exercise, and the one thing they worry about in pro athletics is recovery, because we already know how to make these people work. Tension that you carry in your body can come from physical stress, emotional stress, social stress, whatever, but it's held up by a three-legged stool. One of those legs is called your problem, one is called your path, and one is called your pace. And if you don't understand your problem, that's really where you start. Get aware of your problem, get it calibrated, get it measured, find out what the pros say about it, and then protect yourself from that getting worse. But once you get to exercise, we've got path and pace to cover. And the whole reason we look at movement patterns and movement signatures is to see the damage that's done and to see the places where you've had to recalibrate yourself and compensate. We put you on a path that frictions that and gets those movement patterns back, balance, symmetry, mobility, whatever. It's really hard to find your own path without some outside intervention because the last 20 years of the exercise industry, we've made it easier for people who aren't appropriate to do more exercise. We've enabled them to participate in exercise, but without all the bumps and bruises and calluses that you get on a natural development path. And so there's a really cool way we can put you on a path, but there's one more mistake people make, and that's the pace at which they pursue that path. Most people do too much or not enough, and so they have questions about volume. That's easy. Get on the right path first, and let's see what you look like tomorrow, because you're going to make incremental progress. And if you're making progress, you're at the right pace. That's where you balance your stress and recovery cycle, and you realize that maybe some of the cardio loads that you set for yourself or the lifting loads that you set for yourself may not be right. So you can be doing all the right exercises at not enough pace to make a difference, or at so much of a pace that you have a setback. But I would challenge people, do cardio in between your correctives and do it at a lower cardio than you think. And it literally transforms a lot of movement patterns in about a month. So corrective is, to me, get on the right path. But if we don't calibrate your pace, it probably won't hit save on the document. So contain the problem, find your path, set your pace.